I'm Cassidy Frost. I'm in my second year of study at St. Thomas University. Um, I'm mainly interested in writing and English, but I'm thinking about directing my studies to office administration with the French language. But I've really enjoyed my time studying writing, and I'm going to continue to write. Obviously, it's what I love to do. Uh, yeah, I'm here just to read, I think, one or two of my pieces, and thank you for the opportunity. Okay. This piece is called The Red Ryder. Uh, Beams of sunlight were all the crazy little girl could see. Flashing through her mind, they were laser beams, sending her thoughts somewhere alien. She blinked to block them out, breaking up her surroundings as if she was snapping pictures. Sunshine, darkness, green grass, darkness, red barn, black. Each blink was a temporary shield, but this wasn't a battle. She was enjoying herself. The soft cluttering of bells filled the air, a special assortment of wind chimes that were capable of fueling her imagination. She pedaled faster, and her little white knuckles shook violently, digging into the rubber handles. Around and around, so that everything blurred together like a paintbrush had made its stroke on her canvas. It was the biggest easel of all, the world as she'd come to know it, but it could always be reimagined. She was the painter, so she began creating. Her Red Ryder wasn't a bicycle at all, but a spaceship, the Mother Galactica, proud to be the first model of its kind. The girl's dark brown curls bounced during its takeoff. "Captain, we are up! We've lifted!" she screamed into the void. This was the first time anyone had ascended the earth by vessel, she decided, so there was no promise that the thing would lift. The sounds in outer space, by the way, if listened to closely, can be mistaken for a girl blowing air through clenched teeth. The little girl turned towards a cartoon image seemingly before her, a floating head sticking out from the house. In reality, the windows were just stupidly small, and her poor mare could only poke her head out. She yelled at her granddaughter, a phrase that could replace supper many times before. "Craft dinner." Wow, the power she felt. Fetching up the pedals, a burnout line formed in the gravel as goosebumps ran down her spine. Happy ones, too young to realize that she was experiencing a moment of euphoria. A plentiful amount of post-moon landing confidence also came with her to dinner. Holding a grumbling tummy, she grabbed her favorite spoon from the table, the tiniest one. She jumped up onto a chair and let the utensil collapse into a mound of cheesy noodles. Having just been to space and all, she was allowed to feel hungry, so without delay she began to scarf the stuff down. Mamere's craft dinner also somehow tasted better than her mother's. Her prepare sings about salt, pepper, and sunshine while the girl sneaks glances at him through her glass of water. She rewards his performance with giggles, but Mamere, like always, rolls her eyes and sits between them. "Fou Allah!" she exclaims. Before eating, she grabs her granddaughter's thigh and shakes it. Good girl of Mamere. Her hands are scratchy, but lovely. The good girl of Mamere and of Prepare grows up to see herself as the product of the two. She loves them both, but more than anything wishes that a part of herself could be purely her Mamere, a continuation of Stella Marie's soul, so that she's never really gone. This is how much one woman had shaped her life. A long time has passed since that little girl allowed herself to enjoy a bike ride, or since she'd set her mind free for that matter, to wander from its rigorous schedule. Hidden away is a memory that only comes back as she blinks fast in the sunlight or hears the sound of wind chimes, so it forever stays an adventure tucked away inside these parts of herself. The only trouble is that when she visits it as an adult, it's no longer the same. Instead of handlebars, she grips onto this new mature outlook, something that's not malleable. So why is it such a shock that she's slipping? I can't continue riding. The chain has rusted in place, and no matter how hard I try to push it, its pedals won't break free. I think that it's because she's gone, and without her the galaxy is just the yard. The ship is just a bike. Without her I don't have someone to watch over me, so I fall, eat dirt, give up, embrace the bloody lip. Yeah, the little girl was me. That was my life at its best. I remember it as clear as if I'd seen it in a movie, looking at my Mamere through the window. The glass was between us, but I know we were still connected. From her heart to mine, an invisible cord attached us together. She's not even here anymore, and I still feel it tug, alive somewhere in my memories. Memories, maybe multiple ones, have overlapped each other to create something new because the light in her eyes couldn't have been as prominent as it is in the memory I'm left with. I close mine to find hers, and I swear that they used to shine through darkness. Unlike the way she was with me, Mimere could become stern with certain people outside of our tight-knit circle. I'd hear her voice drop a few octaves, and it was as if the troubles of her past could wash in with the tides. My heart would beat in rhythmic panic as I tried to ride out the wave. Then she'd meet my gaze, guilty like she'd been caught, and cover it up with a smile. You can't cover cancer all up with a smile. I've caught myself, guilty of escaping reality just to hear my Mimere's laugh. It sounded like a cackle to anyone else, but to me it resonates like my favorite song. It's the sound of unconditional love, a type that I've yet to find again and maybe never will. Maybe in a lifetime you only get it once. I softly held onto a fragile hand, one that I could no longer recognize or find any sort of comfort in. It was then that I knew what it was like to feel lost, so I prayed to the God that my Mimere believed in. Dear God, I'm so scared, so scared, so scared. My nervous mind would play on loop. If you can take 1 year off my life in exchange for 1 more year with her, at that my prayer would end, making deals with an invisible man only because so much was at stake. My bike was wobbling full speed down a hill, and my Mimere was on it. She never did learn how to ride, and it was too late for me to help her. My bike. Such a small, insignificant memory, riding it on a spring day. She gave it back to me because I swear I'd forgotten it. We were still holding hands, and that's how it happened, I swear. Mimere gave me the memory back, then she had to let it go, like we all do someday. And the connection that I had was gone. Just like the galaxy I'd been exploring, it played out in a moment. Between arriving at my grandparents' house and being called in for dinner. Between being born and having her leave. I want to hop off that old red Ryder, swing it around by the handlebars, and throw it from its midsection. I want to kick it until my toes bruise and the rubber handles peel off. Instead, I had it stored inside one of Prepare's old sheds. There were 2 storage barns, both ancient artifacts from a time before me. The smaller one held all of the toys my sister and I would play with while visiting. Kites, lawn games, our bikes. The bigger of the 2 was always locked. Prepare had done so as to keep us a safe distance away from his tools. When he let us in, chaperoned by his own undivided attention, it was always a brief adventure. Inside was where I'd first seen a drill, a table saw, and this clamping tool I still don't know the name of. Dimly lit and full of cobwebs, I was happy to step out into the light again and see the door closed. That's the way it permanently stays now, locked along with various items from my childhood, including the Red Ryder. As an adult, describing the love I had for my Mimere feels natural compared to expressing what I still have with Prepare. But I also have some things about myself to consider. When it all became too dark and scary, Prepare was the one who protected me from the shed. If I couldn't find my grandmother's eyes, I'd be sure to find his. They didn't light up, but mine are probably just as dim. Hugging him goodbye, he'd always stand stiffly, but I'm guilty of doing the same to the people most important to me. I think I relate more with his form of affection. We're both just too afraid to show it. It wasn't until having to go on without a wife that he changed. You can see it today. If you look close enough, the smallest but brightest twinkle of a memory is in his eyes, one that he kept from me in the past but shares with me now. It's that of a man looking over his wife's shoulders, watching his granddaughter ride her bicycle in circles around the yard. I swear that he gave me the memory back. I swear that I'd forgotten it. Let people in while they're here, while we are here. We could be someone's spaceship when all they have is a Red Ryder bike.